Dear listeners, we're back with a new story. Get ready for cheating, revenge, and wild relationship drama. I never imagined that a regular Wednesday evening would unravel the fabric of my marriage. Maya and I had been together for nearly a decade, and while the excitement of our early days had faded, we had made a commitment to revive our relationship with regular date nights. Each week, we promised to carve out time for one another, to remind ourselves why we had fallen in love in the first place. But tonight, as I walked into our living room, I found Maya sprawled on the couch, her phone in hand, a conspiratorial smile dancing on her lips. "Hey, babe. Guess what?" she chirped, looking up from her screen with a sparkle in her eye. I set my briefcase down, feeling a sense of unease. "What is it?" I asked cautiously, noting her excitement. "I'm going out with Alex from work. Just to spice things up, you know. Something fun." The words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. "Alex? The guy from your department?" I asked, my heart beginning to race. "Yeah, him. It's just drinks, nothing serious. We'll be back before you know it," she replied, waving her hand dismissively, as if brushing away my concerns like dust on a shelf. I felt a surge of anger rising in me. "Maya, we've been talking about this for weeks. We agreed to have regular date nights. And now you're just going out with a coworker. Does that sound right to you?" She laughed lightly, but the sound felt hollow. "Oh, come on. You're being dramatic. It's just one night. I need something fun in my life, Alex. Things have become so routine. Remember when we used to have spontaneous adventures?" "Of course I do. But we've both been busy. We can still create those moments together. Why is it easier for you to find excitement with him instead of working on us?" Her expression shifted, a flicker of irritation crossing her face. "You don't get it. I just want to feel alive again. You've been so caught up in your work that we've lost our spark. I've been busy because I'm trying to provide for us. Don't you see that?" I shot back, my voice rising. "And this isn't just about you. It's about us, about our marriage. You're dismissing our efforts like they're nothing." Maya rolled her eyes, exasperation creeping in. "You're overreacting, Alex. Just because I want to have a little fun doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I'm choosing him over you. Isn't that exactly what you're doing?" I countered, unable to mask the hurt in my voice. "You're choosing to go out with him instead of staying in and connecting with me. I just need this, okay?" she said, her voice rising slightly. "Can't you understand that? It doesn't have to be a big deal. You're making it one. Why is it such a big deal to you?" "Because it feels like you're willing to risk everything we've built together for a thrill. I can't stand by and watch you throw our marriage away for something so trivial." Maya paused, her eyes narrowing as she processed my words. "Alex, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't even be here. But I want to try something new. Can't you just support me in this?" "Support you? You think I can support you while you go out with another man?" My stomach churned at the thought. What happened to the plans we made? The promises we swore to keep? "Maybe those plans are what's boring me," she exclaimed, frustration spilling over. "Maybe I just want a taste of something different. I'm not asking you to change, I'm asking for a little freedom." "Freedom? Or are you looking for an excuse to escape? Because it sure feels like you're running away from what we have." Silence filled the room, heavy and tense. Her expression softened for a moment, and I saw a flicker of vulnerability. "I just want to feel excited again, Alex. I didn't think it would be such a big deal. Can't you see that?" I wanted to understand, to be the supportive husband she needed, but the thought of her spending the evening with another man sent a wave of nausea through me. "Maya, I want to help you find that excitement, but not at the cost of our marriage. We can do this together." She sighed, glancing down at her phone. "I'm going, Alex. I hope you can just let it go. It's just one night." As she turned away, I felt my heart sink. I was losing her, and I didn't know how to stop it. "Just be careful," I muttered, my voice barely above a whisper. "I will," she said, not looking back, and as she left the house, I felt a chasm opening between us, one I wasn't sure we could bridge again. The following day dragged on, each minute feeling like an hour as I replayed Maya's words in my mind. I sat at my desk, staring blankly at the screen, but the numbers and figures on my computer felt meaningless. I couldn't shake the image of her laughter with another man, the sound echoing in my ears like a haunting melody. I needed to confront her, but a part of me dreaded what the evening would bring. As the clock struck 6, I made my way home, my stomach in knots. When I walked through the front door, I was met with the silence of our once vibrant home. It felt empty, devoid of warmth. I turned the corner into the living room and saw her sitting on the couch, her hair slightly disheveled, her eyes sparkling with a mixture of excitement and something else I couldn't quite place. "Hey, babe. I had such a good time last night," she said, her voice bright as she glanced up from her phone. "Did you?" I asked, forcing my voice to remain calm despite the storm brewing inside me. "What exactly did you two do?" "We just went to that new bar downtown. You know, the one with the rooftop," she said, her smile unwavering. "The drinks were amazing. Alex really knows how to have fun." I felt my heart drop. "So, it was just fun, huh? Nothing else happened?" She paused for a moment, her smile faltering. "Of course not. It was just drinks." "You're being dramatic again, Alex." "Dramatic? You went out with another man. You think that's nothing? We agreed to be there for each other, and instead, you're running off to chase excitement with a coworker." "Can't you see that I'm trying to get out of this rut?" she replied, frustration creeping into her voice. "You're so focused on work, and I feel like I'm stuck waiting for you to pay attention. I thought I could find some joy outside of us without it meaning anything." "Joy? With another man?" "Maya, you don't get to redefine our relationship just because you want a little thrill. Do you even care about how this affects me?" Her face hardened, and I could see the defensiveness rising within her. "I care, but you're making this a bigger deal than it is. It was just one night, Alex. One night. Maybe it wouldn't feel like such a big deal if you weren't so casual about it. What's next? A weekend getaway? A romantic trip?" I pressed, my heart pounding in my chest. Okay. I get it," she said, raising her hands in a gesture of surrender. "But you're not listening to me. I just wanted to feel alive, to remind myself that there's more to life than work and routine. Have you thought about how I feel?" I shot back, my frustration boiling over. "You're choosing to seek thrills with someone else instead of working on our marriage. That's a betrayal in itself." "I didn't mean for it to come to this," she exclaimed, her voice cracking. "I thought I could have a little fun and it wouldn't matter. It's not like I stopped loving you." "It certainly feels like it. You're risking everything we have for what? A few hours of excitement?" I struggled to keep my voice steady, feeling the tears prick at the corners of my eyes. "Maybe it's because I'm scared, okay? Scared of losing you and scared of being stuck in this routine forever," she confessed, her anger giving way to vulnerability. "Then why not talk to me? I'm right here, Maya. We could work together to find that excitement, but instead, you chose him," I said, my voice breaking. "I can't just sit back and watch you throw our marriage away for something trivial." "I didn't mean to hurt you," she pleaded, stepping closer, her eyes filled with desperation. "Can't we just go back to how things were? Just give me one more chance." "Do you really think it's that easy?" I replied, shaking my head. "How can I trust you after this? You've shattered that trust with your choices." "I'll do anything to earn it back. I promise. I'll cancel any plans with him and focus on us. Just please, don't give up on me yet." For a moment, I hesitated, torn between the love I felt for her and the betrayal that hung heavily between us. But the realization hit me like a cold wave. I couldn't let her decision dictate my happiness any longer. "I can't live like this anymore," I finally said, my voice steady but laced with sadness. "I need to think about my own happiness, too. You're not the only one who feels trapped in this situation. Maya stepped back, her face falling as the weight of my words sank in. Alex, please, she began, but I cut her off. No. It's time for me to take control of my life. I need to move on. As I walked past her and into the kitchen, I felt a sense of finality wash over me. I could hear her breathing heavily behind me, the silence in the air thickening with unresolved tension. The love we had once shared felt like a distant memory, eclipsed by the choices that had brought us to this moment. The following days crawled by, each one filled with an uneasy silence that hung over our home like a thick fog. I found myself waking up each morning to the same sinking feeling in my stomach, a mix of dread and sadness that had become all too familiar. Maya and I walked on eggshells around each other, avoiding eye contact and meaningful conversation. It felt as though we were living in two separate worlds, our shared reality unraveling thread by thread. Work became a welcome distraction. I buried myself in projects, throwing myself into late nights at the office to escape the turmoil at home. But no matter how far I ran, I couldn't escape the nagging thoughts that kept me awake at night. Every time I closed my eyes, I could see Maya's face, her laughter mingling with Alex's, a reminder of the thrill she was chasing. One evening, as I sat at my desk sifting through reports, I received a text from Maya. Can we talk? I hesitated, my fingers hovering over the keyboard, and then replied with a simple, fine. She suggested meeting at the cafe down the street. I knew this conversation could change everything, and my heart raced at the thought. When I arrived at the cafe, I spotted her sitting at a small table in the corner, fiddling with her coffee cup. She looked up as I approached, and for a moment, I saw the glimmer of hope in her eyes that I could fix everything. I took a seat, bracing myself for the conversation ahead. Thank you for coming, she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. I've been thinking a lot about everything. I have too, I replied, my gaze steady. But I'm not sure what we can say that will fix what's happened. Maya sighed, her shoulders slumping. I know I messed up. I was trying to escape from the routine, but I didn't think about how it would hurt you. I thought we could just have a little fun without it meaning anything. Fun? I echoed, shaking my head in disbelief. You call that fun? You went out with another man, Maya. This isn't just about a night out. It's about trust. You shattered it. I know, and I'm so sorry. I don't want to lose you. Can't we work on this? I'll do anything, she pleaded, her eyes pleading for understanding. Anything? What does that even mean at this point? I said, frustration creeping into my voice. You say you'll do anything, but how can I believe you? You've already chosen to prioritize your excitement over our relationship. She looked down, a tear spilling onto her cheek. I never wanted it to come to this. I love you, Alex. I want us to be happy again. Let's go back to the way things were before, all the good times we had. I wish it were that simple, I replied, my heart aching. But it feels like we're on completely different pages. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not. I can't keep living with this fear of losing you to someone else. Please, just give me another chance, she said, her voice breaking. I promise I'll make it up to you. I'll be better. We can try couples therapy or something. I took a deep breath, weighing my options. Maya, we've been trying for so long to find our way back to each other. I don't know if we can fix this, especially with everything that's happened, but I need you, Alex. I can't imagine my life without you, she pleaded, reaching for my hand. I'll change. I swear. Just please don't give up on us. I pulled my hand back, feeling a wave of sadness wash over me. This isn't just about you wanting to change. It's about the choices you've already made. I can't ignore that. Her face fell, and for a moment, I could see the reality settling in. So, what are you saying? You want a divorce? I paused, my heart pounding in my chest. The word felt heavy, like a weight I'd been carrying for too long. I think it's time for me to take control of my life. I need to prioritize my own happiness. Maya's expression shifted from pleading to disbelief. You can't be serious. We can still fix this. I don't know if we can, I replied, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes. I don't want to live in a constant state of doubt and betrayal. I need to move forward. Alex, please. Think about what you're doing, she exclaimed, desperation creeping into her voice. We've built a life together. Are you really willing to throw that away? I nodded slowly, feeling the finality of my decision. Yes. I think it's time. As I stood up from the table, the weight of my decision hung heavily in the air. I turned to leave, feeling Maya's gaze on me, a mix of sorrow and disbelief etched across her face. I felt my heart break for the woman I once loved, but I knew I had to protect myself. Goodbye, Maya, I said softly, not looking back as I stepped out of the cafe and into the cool evening air. The world around me felt sharper, clearer, as I made my way home. For the first time in days, I felt a sense of freedom, the weight of uncertainty lifting slightly off my shoulders. I had taken control of my life, ready to face whatever came next, even if it meant walking away from the woman I once thought I couldn't live without. The following week was a whirlwind of emotions as I settled into my decision. I took time off work to clear my head, to really process everything that had happened. I stayed at a small hotel downtown, my temporary refuge as I tried to come to terms with the end of my marriage. Each day felt like a new chapter, one filled with uncertainty, but also a glimmer of hope for a fresh start. As I packed my bags and prepared to return to the apartment I once shared with Maya, I felt a mixture of dread and relief. The thought of confronting her again was daunting, but I knew I had to return home and begin the process of moving forward. When I arrived, the familiar surroundings felt alien. The living room, once filled with laughter and love, now seemed sterile and cold. I could still picture the moments we shared, the movie nights, the laughter echoing off the walls. But those memories felt tainted now, overshadowed by betrayal. Maya was already home, her presence filling the air with tension. She looked up from the couch as I entered, her eyes searching mine for answers. Hey, she said softly, a hesitant smile forming on her lips. I didn't know when you'd be back. Yeah, I needed some time to think, I replied, keeping my voice steady. I think it's time we talk about everything. She nodded, her expression shifting to one of concern. I've been thinking too. I know things have been really hard for us. I just want to understand how we got here. I think we both know how we got here, Maya, I said, taking a seat across from her. You made choices that put us in this position. I've been feeling lost, like I was being pushed aside in our marriage. I'm so sorry for that, she said, her voice breaking slightly. I never meant for it to happen. I thought I could find a little thrill, but I see now how reckless that was. I didn't want to lose you. I understand that now, I said, feeling a mix of compassion and sadness for her. But wanting to find excitement shouldn't come at the cost of our relationship. I can't keep living in a place where I'm always wondering if you'll choose someone else over me. Maya lowered her gaze, tears glistening in her eyes. What are you saying, Alex? Are you really going to end things like this? I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of my decision settle heavily on my chest. I think it's best for both of us to end our marriage. I need to find my own path, one that doesn't involve living in fear and uncertainty. And I think you need to find what makes you happy outside of us. No, she pleaded, shaking her head. Please don't do this. We can go to therapy, we can work through this together. I'll make changes, I swear. Maybe you can find excitement in yourself, I replied, my heart aching. But I can't be the one to provide it for you. I need to focus on my own happiness now, and that means letting go of the past. Maya's shoulders slumped, and she finally let the tears fall. I love you, Alex. I didn't realize how much I took you for granted until it was almost too late. I loved you too, Maya. But love isn't enough when trust is broken, I said gently. I have recordings of our conversations, everything you said about wanting to be free and needing a break. I can't ignore that. I didn't mean it like that. I was just scared, she protested, her voice rising in desperation. I thought I could explore without it meaning anything. I didn't realize how much I'd hurt you, I know. But now it's time for both of us to move on, I replied, my voice firm but compassionate. It's going to be hard, but I believe we both deserve a chance to find our own paths. As I stood up, the reality of our conversation settled in. I'll take care of the divorce papers and handle the logistics. I want to make this as easy as possible for both of us. Maya nodded slowly, her eyes filled with a mixture of sorrow and acceptance. I guess I always knew this might happen. I just hoped we could find our way back to each other. Sometimes love isn't enough to bridge the gap, I replied, my heart heavy. But I'll always remember the good times we shared. I turned to leave, feeling the finality of my words sink in. As I stepped out the door, I glanced back one last time. Maya sat on the couch, tears streaming down her face, the weight of our history pressing down on both of us. I took a deep breath, knowing that while this chapter was ending, another was waiting to begin. After a few weeks of processing, I moved into a small apartment that felt like a fresh start. I decorated it with pieces that represented me, filling the space with light and hope. The first few nights were challenging, filled with quiet reminders of the life I had left behind, but I began to embrace the freedom of being on my own. I enrolled in a cooking class, something I had always wanted to do but never found time for while married. Each week, I found myself meeting new people, laughing, and discovering a passion for culinary arts. Slowly but surely, I started to reclaim my identity, piece by piece. One evening, as I prepared dinner for myself in my new kitchen, I received a text from Maya. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. I took a moment before responding. I miss you too, but I think it's best if we both focus on ourselves for now. I want us both to find happiness, even if it's apart. The reply came quickly. I understand. Take care of yourself, Alex. As I set my phone down, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I was learning to embrace my own journey, to find excitement within myself rather than relying on someone else. While the road ahead was uncertain, I was determined to move forward, free from the shadows of the past, ready to embrace whatever life had in store.